Limbo is one of the most painful relationship states because it is not a clean no and it is not a real yes. It is a suspended bond where you are close enough to attach, but unclear enough to stay anxious. They treat you like you matter. They lean on you like you are their person. They come close when you pull away. And then the moment you ask for clarity, they go vague. They get busy. They flip the story, or they disappear. If you are anxious, limbo is brutal because your nervous system cannot relax inside an undefined bond. You keep asking the same question in different words. What are we? Where is this going? Can I count on you? And they keep answering with the same move in different forms. Not now. Do not make it serious. Why do we have to label it? Let us just see. You are pressuring me. Or silence. In this episode, I am going to map the control loop that creates limbo on purpose, stage by stage, so you stop personalizing it, stop bargaining with yourself, and stop paying for partner-level access with uncertainty. If this kind of clarity helps your nervous system settle, subscribe. PsychBond is a daily decoder for psychology, relationships, and avoidant and anxious attachment patterns, so you stop guessing. Here is the hard truth. Limbo is rarely an accident. It is usually a structure. Sometimes it is conscious, sometimes it is not conscious, but the function is the same. One person gets closeness benefits without closeness responsibilities. The other person carries the anxiety cost of the missing structure. That is why limbo can feel like love and still be unsafe. Because your bond is not built only by words. Your bond is built by access, intimacy, relief, and repetition. The problem is that relief is not the same as being chosen. And in limbo, your nervous system keeps confusing relief with love. So let us map the loop clearly, because once you see the loop, you stop trying to solve the person and you start reading the structure. This is the limbo control loop. It begins with a pull-in. It escalates into closeness benefits. It hits a clarity moment. It triggers a protect move. It pulls you into anxious repair, and then it resets with warmth without repair. Then it repeats. And every time it repeats, it trains you to accept less clarity and work harder for more contact. Stage 1 is the pull-in. This is when they initiate or reinitiate connection. It can look small or it can look intense. It can be a simple message that makes your heart jump. It can be a late-night call. It can be a sudden plan. It can be affectionate language. Sometimes they pull in because they miss you. Sometimes they pull in because they are lonely. Sometimes they pull in because they want comfort. Sometimes they pull in because they feel you slipping and they do not want to lose access. The motive can vary. What matters is the effect. The pull-in creates just enough connection to keep the bond alive and keep you emotionally available. It resets your hope. It quiets your doubt. It makes you think, okay, we are good. And that is why limbo is sticky. The pull-in is a reward. Stage 2 is closeness benefits. In this stage, you are treated like a partner when it benefits them. They want your attention. They want your comfort. They want your softness. They want your loyalty. They want someone to talk to when they are stressed. They want intimacy that regulates them, emotional or physical. They might text you daily. They might call you after work. They might share personal details. They might use language like we and us. They might want the girlfriend-boyfriend energy while refusing the girlfriend-boyfriend agreement. This is the part that makes you doubt yourself later, because it does not feel casual. It feels real. And often, it is real in the moment. The issue is not whether they can feel close. The issue is that the closeness is not anchored by structure. It is closeness without accountability. So, your nervous system invests. You start giving more. You start prioritizing them. You start shaping your life around their availability. You become emotionally loyal. And because the closeness feels good, you assume it will naturally evolve into clarity. That is where the trap begins. What makes this stage dangerous is that it creates loyalty before agreement. The human nervous system responds to cues, not contracts. If they text you good morning, call you every night, open up, ask for your comfort, and treat you like their default person, your body does not stay neutral. Your body starts organizing around them. You start anticipating them. You start making room for them. You start feeling responsible for maintaining the connection. That is why limbo is not only emotional, it is physiological. It trains your system to treat access like oxygen. And because access feels good, you start lowering standards without noticing. You accept last-minute plans because it feels safer than asking for a plan and risking the coldness. You accept vague answers because you are hoping they are temporary. You call it patience, but patience is only healthy when there is movement. In limbo, patience becomes postponing reality. And the reason the other person can keep it going is because they are not paying the full cost. You are. You are paying with uncertainty and self-editing. They are paying with occasional discomfort when you ask for clarity. That is why limbo is stable for them. It is low-cost closeness. This is also where people get trapped by empathy. You tell yourself, they are avoidant, they are scared, they have stress, they do not mean to hurt me. That may be true, but the loop still exists. And understanding without standards turns into self-abandonment. So the question is not, are they a bad person? The question is, what does this structure cost me? Because limbo is not neutral. It slowly trains you to accept uncertainty as the price of closeness. Stage 3 is the clarity moment. This is the moment where a relationship either becomes real or reveals itself. You ask a simple question, not a dramatic speech, a normal adult question. What are we? Are we exclusive? What are we building? Can I count on you? Where is this going? In secure love, this moment does not destroy connection. It produces truth. It might feel vulnerable, but it results in clarity and a plan. In limbo, this moment produces a shift. And the shift is the data. They do not respond to your question. They respond to the feeling your question creates in them. The feeling is usually threat. Threat to freedom. Threat to comfort. Threat to obligation. Threat to accountability. So instead of information, you get deflection, philosophy, or a character critique. They say, why do we need labels? They say, can we not ruin it? They say, let us just enjoy it. They say, you are making it serious. They say, you are pressuring me. Or they go quiet. This is the moment that tells you whether you are dealing with confusion or strategy. Confusion answers the question with honesty and respect. Strategy avoids the question while keeping the benefits. Stage 4 is the protect move. Once threat is activated, they protect autonomy and comfort. They protect the ability to take closeness without responsibility. They do it with one of three moves. They withdraw, they go vague, or they flip the story so you become the problem. Withdrawing can look like slower replies, sudden busyness, canceling, a cold tone, emotional distance, or silence. Vagueness can look like maybe, not sure, we will see. I have a lot going on, not right now. Flipping the story can look like calling your clarity pressure, calling your needs insecurity, calling your question drama, or framing commitment as control. This is why limbo feels unfair. You asked for information and you got punished, and your nervous system learns something dangerous. It learns that needs cost you access. That lesson trains you to go quiet to keep closeness. It trains you to accept less, to avoid the coldness. It trains you to abandon your reality to stay connected. Stage 5 is anxious repair. This is where your system tries to restore safety. You feel the drop and your body goes into problem solving. You may over-explain. You may soften your tone. You may apologize for asking. You may try to prove you are reasonable. You may send a long message that is really a nervous system plea for stability. Or you may do the quiet version of anxious repair, where you act chill, swallow your needs, and keep giving partner energy, hoping the bond stabilizes. All of these are attempts to restore connection because your nervous system felt a threat. But anxious repair often rewards their protect move. If they withdraw and you chase, they experience relief and power. If they blame and you defend, they learn they can avoid accountability by making you argue about tone instead of answering the question. If they go vague and you accept it, they learn they can keep benefits without changing structure. That is why limbo lasts. The loop reinforces itself. Stage 6 is the reset. After you pull back, or after time passes, they return with warmth. They text like nothing happened. They offer closeness again. Your body feels relief. Relief can erase pain. You tell yourself, okay, we are good. You tell yourself, maybe they just needed time. Then you go back to normal. That is the reset. But because there was no repair, the structure did not change. So the next clarity moment triggers the same protect move. And that is how limbo becomes a system. Now I want you to hear the most important point. Limbo is not only about avoidance. Limbo is also about what they gain. It gives them companionship, intimacy, emotional support, validation, loyalty energy, and a person who is emotionally available. They get to feel chosen without choosing. They get partner benefits without partner responsibility. And you pay the cost. You pay with uncertainty. You pay with scanning. You pay with overthinking. You pay with self-editing. You pay with the slow erosion of self-respect that happens when you keep accepting less than you need. That is why limbo feels humiliating. Not because you are weak, because you are playing the partner role without partner protection. Now, let us make it practical with scenes. Scene 1 is boyfriend-girlfriend energy without the agreement. They want to see you multiple times a week. They text, "Good morning." They call you after work. They share personal stress. They want your comfort. They cuddle. They fall asleep with you. They use we and us. Then you ask one normal question. What are we? They say, Why do you need to define it? They say, can we not label it? They say, I do not want a relationship. You feel stunned because the behavior already felt like one. That is partner treatment with relationship denial. Scene 2 is intimacy and retreat. You have a night that feels bonded. They are soft. They are close. They say something intimate. The next day, they are distant. You try to address it lightly. They say, you are reading into it. You ask for consistency. They say, you are making it serious. That is closeness benefits followed by protect move. Scene 3 is the come close when you detach pattern. You finally get tired. You stop texting. You stop asking. You turn attention back to your life. Suddenly, they surge back warm. They initiate. They want to see you. They act like you matter. The moment you soften again, the warmth expires, and you are back in vagueness. That is not romance. That is regulation. They come close when they fear losing access. They retreat when access feels secure and obligation rises. Scene 4 is the character flip. You ask for clarity, and they make you the villain. They say you are trying to control them. They say you are too intense. They say you should just enjoy it. This move is destabilizing because it makes you doubt your reality. You start thinking, maybe I am asking for too much. But asking what you are building is not too much. It is the minimum requirement for emotional safety. Now we need to address the phrase on purpose. On purpose does not always mean evil. It means it serves a function. The function is to avoid choice while keeping access. Choice requires commitment to structure. Structure requires consistency. Consistency requires capacity. If someone does not have capacity, limbo protects them from exposure. It protects them from responsibility. It protects them from being depended on. It also protects them from losing you. Limbo lets them keep you as an option while staying free to avoid the work of a real bond. That is why limbo can feel like you are auditioning for a role you are already performing. Now, here is the difference between confusion and strategy in a way you can use immediately. Confusion is when they communicate honestly about not knowing and still treat you with respect and a timeline. Strategy is when they avoid clarity while still taking partner benefits and offering no timeline and no repair. Confusion might sound like, I like you and I want to keep building, but I am not ready to define it today. Can we talk again in 2 weeks? Strategy sounds like, why are you making it serious? While they keep showing up for comfort and intimacy. Confusion comes with a plan. Strategy comes with vagueness. Confusion comes with repair. Strategy comes with resets. Now let us talk about why limbo hooks anxious attachment so hard. It is nervous system conditioning. Warmth gives relief. Distance creates threat. The return gives relief again. Your brain starts calling relief love. That is why you can feel obsessed with someone inconsistent and calmer with someone consistent. It is not because the inconsistent person is more special. It is because the contrast is bigger. Once you see that, you stop trusting intensity as proof. You start trusting behavior as proof. Now what do? You do not break limbo by convincing them. You do not break limbo by becoming easier. You break limbo by changing what you reward and requiring structure. Here is the simplest capacity test for this dynamic. You name the structure calmly, then you ask one question, and you stop. I enjoy what we have. I want something steady. Are you available for a relationship with me? then silence. No speech, no convincing. Their response is data. Not only their words, their behavior after. If they answer with clarity and follow through, there is capacity. If they dodge, blame, or disappear, you have information. And information is what frees your nervous system. Because truth settles the nervous system, not warm moments, not hope, not potential. Truth. Now let us talk about the return trap, because this is where most people relapse. After you ask for clarity and they deny, you go quiet. Then they come back sweet. They text like nothing happened. They offer closeness. Your body feels relief. Your mind wants to reset. This is where you apply one rule. A return is not a reset. Warmth is not repair. So you do not punish them, but you do not pretend. You say, "I like feeling close to you. Before we go back to normal, we need to address what happened and agree on what we do next time." That sentence protects your dignity and tests capacity. A person with capacity might feel uncomfortable, but they stay present and offer a plan. A person without capacity tries to skip it, minimize it, blame you, or go cold. That answer tells you everything. Now, let us talk about real repair versus fake repair. Fake repair is, "Sorry, I was busy." Then it happens again. Fake repair is, "I just need space," with no return time and no plan. Fake repair is, "You know how I am." Real repair is naming the pattern, taking responsibility, and offering a different behavior next time. It can be simple. It can sound like, "When I feel overwhelmed after closeness, I will not go quiet. I will tell you I need a day to settle, and I will check in tomorrow evening." Or it can sound like, "I am not ready for commitment, so I should not take partner benefits. I respect you, and I will step back." That is also repair because it is truthful structure. Now, let us address the two traps that keep limbo alive even when you know what is happening. The first trap is becoming easier to avoid the coldness. You stop asking. You stop naming needs. You accept vague because you fear clarity will make them leave. But avoiding clarity does not create safety. It creates more anxiety because your needs are now not allowed. You may call it being chill. Your nervous system experiences it as walking on eggshells. The second trap is the hope trap. They give you peaks that feel like commitment, then drops that feel like distance, and you treat the peak as proof and the drop as an exception. But in a pattern, the drop is part of the structure. So stop judging the relationship by the best moment. Judge it by the repeatable baseline. Now, here is how to break the loop without turning it into a fight. The goal is not to argue about labels. The goal is to require structure that protects your nervous system. That starts with one clean question and one clean boundary. Ask the capacity question, then stop. If the answer is vague, blamey, or avoidant, state your availability. "I am not available for an undefined bond long term." If you cannot do clarity, that is okay, and I will step back. That line is not to scare them. It is to protect you. Limbo only works when you stay fully available while they stay undefined. So you change the terms. You stop giving partner-level access without partner-level agreement. You slow down intimacy until there is repair and clarity. Then you watch. A person who was truly confused responds to structure with respect. They do not punish you for asking. They might not be ready, but they are honest. A person using limbo as a strategy reacts differently. They try to keep benefits while avoiding agreement. They bargain. They say, "You are ruining it." They go cold. They return sweet later to reset without addressing the question. That is the tell. Once you see the tell, you stop negotiating. You are not trying to win a debate. You are trying to live in a relationship shape that does not require you to abandon yourself. Now let us address the fear that keeps you from doing this. What if I ask and they leave? If they leave because you asked for clarity and structure, then you were not losing a secure bond. You were losing a cycle that required you to be unclear to be kept. And being kept is not being chosen. Now let us turn this into a simple proof window. You ask one clarity question once, then you stop. You request one measurable structure, a plan in advance or a call time. You watch follow-through. If there is a rupture, you require repair before normal. Then you decide, based on pattern, not the best moment. The point is not to control them. The point is to stop being controlled by uncertainty. Now I want to close with the truth under all of it, because limbo teaches you the wrong lessons if you do not name it. Limbo teaches you that you have to earn basic security. It teaches you that your needs are too much. It teaches you that asking for structure ruins connection. Those lessons are false. In a secure bond, structure protects connection. Clarity protects the nervous system. Repair protects intimacy. If someone cannot offer clarity, consistency, and repair, you do not need to hate them. You simply stop participating in a role that costs you your peace. Being chosen is not a feeling they give you in the moment. Being chosen is a structure they build with you over time. If they cannot build that, you stop paying partner-level loyalty for a bond that refuses to name you. Welcome to PsychBond. You're safe here.